Hello guys and welcome to episode 8 of my Civilization Beyond Earth playthrough, playing as Brasilia using the Purity affinity. And today we're going to be continuing by beating back the Americans again. They're coming at me with more combat rovers, and to begin with we're going to bombard this combat rover with Manuel. We can also use a gunner inside the city. Actually no, we can't. I am lying. I thought that would be in range, but apparently not, because there is some forest here. So we will cancel that for now. And we're going to move our armor into friendly territory and then fortify until healed. And well, meanwhile, we might be able to switch up our forces here so that the gunner can be used to attack the combat rover. However, that might be a bad idea. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm going to leave the marine here for now, and we can sort out our defenses once they actually move closer to us. But for now, let's just choose a new research because we finished robotics. So I think from there we will go on to possibly getting ballistics. That is actually like quite a good idea, I think, because we can get access to this rocket battery, which will be really useful for making our settlements much stronger earlier on. We could also go down computing to get the missile rover. That's a choice that we can make as well. But I really want to get like server machinery as soon as possible. So let's go for bionics. Or maybe not. I think we'll go with computing, because then I can actually work on missile rovers to take over Axiom. I think that's quite a high priority at the moment, because we really need to stop the Americans from continuing to attack us. Anyway, we need to build some tac jets soon. So at Citadella, after we finish working on the Gene Card and the new trade convoy, we can actually build a tac jet there, and that'll be really useful. And at Santo Adria, we will do the same. We will build a tac jet after the Gene Garden. Okay. Now, building more military units is actually helpful towards our health. Hutama wants open borders again, that's fine. So we're coming up to 5 levels in purity. These missile rovers having a go at my marine. Oh, and the attack jet's going for it as well. My marines are really well fortified there though, because they are in the forest. Here we're going to be able to use this gunner to attack the combat rover. I'm also tempted to attack the combat rover with my marine, but it will leave the marine in Miasma, so maybe not such a great idea. That arm is now fortifying until healed. Let's move this marine next to this missile rover, and we'll see if we can take that out in the next turn if they don't retreat it. Right, so we've cleared the miasma here on the titanium, so we can actually work on a mine there now, which will be really good. Looks like the missile rover is staying. That's really good as well, because that means we can take out the missile rover. We're pretty much free, actually. So, Pan-Asians want 3 geothermal for 1 favor. I guess we can start building up favors with the Pan-Asians. Kill off this missile rover. That might leave my marines in a bad spot, but they do have the hill there to help them defend. And let's bring this gun around in case that marine does get destroyed, and then we can fire onto whoever destroyed it. So working on that tile, that's going to give us +5 production in Santo Adrio. That's going to be really good. And I think that's everything, so let's move on to the next turn. So many farms being built over here. That will greatly increase the growth of Cittadella. It's the first incursion we've actually made into the Americans' lands. Looks like we're going to take quite a lot of damage for it. They took more though, which is good. Now what we can do is move back this gunner, we can move back the marine. Going to fortify this guy where he is. And at Dorado, we can now begin work on the Old Earth Relic. So what I'll probably do is buy one of these tiles.
Le commerce fonctionne quand on comprend l'autre.
But before we do, Elodie wants petroleum for 1 favour. So I don't know how many favours we have now from Elodie, but quite a lot. The clinic finishing soon in Manuel. That's going to give us another 2 health. We're going to need to make sure that we work on the clinic as soon as possible in Dorado, because that's very important that we stabilize our health, and we've just made it worse by founding that new city. So let's just add that to the queue so we don't forget. Meanwhile at Manuel, we need to choose a new production, so I guess we can work on the Cyto Nursery first, or even a trade convoy. Let's get another trade convoy, because the other ones got destroyed, which was really annoying. And we really need to utilize trade as much as possible at the start of the game to boost our growth. I'm just going to tell that to do nothing after moving on to that tile, because I don't want to end the turn on miasma. So the trade convoy at Cittadella can continue trading with Red Sun. We're now at plus 20 income per turn, which is actually reasonably good for this time into the campaign, especially with the amount of wars and stuff that's been slowing down our overall growth. You can see the other nations are growing very, very quickly now, and we need to be careful that we don't get caught out by the speed of their expansion. So, Pan-Asians have completed master control. The trade convoy from Cittadella can go to Farbase 1. And that's fine. So we've got 2 trade convoys now in Cittadella. One's going to Red Sun, one's going to Farbase 1. That's going to be easy to keep track of now. In Santo Adrio, we have 1 convoy going to Tiangong that I know of. It would be really good if I knew if this alien nest had been destroyed yet, because then I could continue trading with Kia Gungan. But here we have a chance to do some serious damage to this combat rover, so I'm going to attack it from range with the gunner first, and then we'll attack it with the armor. Awesome. So we need to keep damaging the Americans wherever we can, and then when we can peace out with them, they'll give us much more than they were going to originally, which was just 1 energy per turn. We can continue this war as long as we want, though. As long as there's no immediate threat to my cities, we can keep going. So this combat rover has retreated, that's fine. I'm just going to fortify until healed that armor there. I'm going to attack this combat rover with the gunner and also the city, and then I'm going to attack it with the marine as well. And that might possibly destroy it if we get a critical hit. Nope. It's going to stay alive with a small amount of health, but that's really good. I'm going to fend them off for another turn. Right, we need to revise our technology soon, because I want to actually queue up the techs that we need. Is combat rover going for my gunner? Not going to be doing much though. Attack jet taking a beating, and that's going to be attacked by the combat rover as well. Wow. Okay. The Americans have come out to play. Let's jump into our tech. And I'm actually going to queue up with alien biology, so our workers have miasma immunity. Then we'll go for bionics, then servo machinery straight after, and then ballistics. I think that's probably the best way for us to do that. I just wanted to queue that up so I didn't have to keep jumping into the tech every time it finished. In Manuel, I think we'll work on the Old Earth Relic. It's only going to take 3 turns to complete, and it will give us +3 culture, which is really nice. Will help us move on our might virtues. This minus 50% maintenance for all units is really, really, really good. We could also start putting our virtues into industry instead. But I think getting the second synergy bonus in might is worth it before we move on to another tree. So, yeah. So veterancy gain for this marine. I have the feeling I should probably just use the instant recover HP option. Then we can use the ranged attack from this gunner to attack this combat rover, and then we can attack it with this marine, but after we have attacked it with the city. Then we can use this armor to finish off their combat rover. And that probably works out best. Okay, so the trade convoy we've now built in Manuel, that's going to trade within our own settlements. So let's start by trading with Citadella, because that will give the biggest gain, I would assume. Unless, actually, you get +2 production per turn if we go to Santo Adrio, rather than just the +1 from Citadella. I think that's probably better, because it benefits both of these cities more. And that way, they can catch up with my capital. They will never like properly catch up to it, but it's worth making these settlements just as strong as Citadella in terms of production.
No village was ever ruined by trade.
We're going to continue cooperating with the African Union. And the tac jets coming in again. Soon we'll have tac jets of our own. And we can put them in Manuel and put them to interception, and that will be really, really nice. I think we're going to lose this marine, possibly. Not quite. Whoa, nearly. but not quite. So where can we move this fella to get him out of danger? I think what we got to do is possibly move this marine away and then fortify him and bring something else over instead, maybe this armor. The only trouble is that might get taken out by a attack jet anyway, although we do have the attack jet from Citadella that we can rebase to Manuel eventually. It's not going to get there this turn though, so that's a big issue. So let's make this armor disciplined. We're going to move this marine back and we can move the armor in its place. This gunner can stay where it is and fortify until healed, and the marine's going to have to do the same thing. So Citadella can work on a farmer lab. Actually, we'll work on another tac jet first, because they are attacking us with 2 tac jets every turn, and then we'll queue the farmer lab afterward. It's more vital that we get the tac jets out. Actually, we're already building one in Santo Adrio, so that's not so much of a great idea. Let's get rid of the tac jet. There we go. That's the way to do it. Then after that, I think we want this auto plant. That would be really useful for giving our trade routes going to the stations +1 energy. And then we can possibly go for the alien preserve. We don't have any wonders to build, so we can just add that to the queue. The laboratory for +2 science would be useful as well. All of these buildings are useful, to be honest. You can just queue them all up. Is that it? I think it is. Let's move on to the next turn. See if this marine survives to fight another day. Probably not, in all honesty. It depends if the AI decides to attack the armor now instead of this marine.
No village was ever ruined by trade.
Let's give the African Union open borders again. Nope, he's dead. Poor guy. We're going to have to build some more men by the looks of things. So this armor is going to have to come back and actually just defend this gunner for now. Let's range attack this combat rover because we can. And we'll move on this tac jet now to Manuel. The second one's going to be complete soon. I'm thinking possibly I should bring forwards this marine, because he's sitting there not really doing very much at the moment, when he could be helping that gunner. So after we built this tac jet in Santo Adria, I think I'm going to add to the queue a marine. Then we can work on our other buildings, such as the thorium reactor, which will be really useful. We're giving us some extra energy. This worker's nearly finished chopping down the forest, and then he can get started on building the mine. Now a lot of our money has disappeared because my workers are destroying the generators and building farms instead, which is okay in terms of boosting the growth for Citadella, but does affect our energy income quite a lot if you're wondering where all of that is going. But in the meantime, LD has decided to condemn us, which really, really sucks. But very well. We're not going to try and annoy her by insulting her back. Oh no. This gonna take a beating from both these combat rovers? That would suck so bad. It looks like it. The gunner is dead. Okay, so we're gonna have to build another gunner as well now. That's annoying. Alright, let's attack this combat rover with the tac jet, and then we can finish it off with the combat rover. Or with the armor, sorry. Alright, that will have to do. So we're going to move on this marine now, we're going to have to. If they're going to keep moving units through this desert, we're going to have to do something about that. At Citadella, I'm going to add to the queue a gunner, and then make it so it builds its second. And in Santo Adrio, we've already got a marine building after the tac jet, so that works out well. In Manuel, we will get the thorium reactor now. The only other thing I'm thinking about is maybe getting another trade convoy. I think that's also a good choice. So yeah, we'll do that. And will the Americans take advantage of this weakened armor? We'll have to wait and see. No, they won't.
I love computers because they automate the tedious stuff and give us more time for important things like market manipulation.
And we now have access to the missile rover, and this is going to continue our quest. Quest decision here. Do we want +3 energy from Gene Gardens or +1 health? I think we want the extra health. The +3 energy would be really nice, but getting our health back to positive is probably more important because of the negative and positive modifiers you now get. So if I attack this combat rover with the armor, that'll probably put it in a bad spot, which is why I'm not going to. I'm going to fortify that marine there, and we're going to make this tac jet air intercept. We can move that tac jet to Manuel. We'll have another gunner and marine popping out in 4 turns to continue our war. So Hutama is loving us at the moment for continuing our relations with the African Union, which is nice. I'm really hoping that these are meaningful relationships that will actually help me later in the game, because so far they have no reason to hate me. We've been cooperating for the entire game now, and I've been giving them open borders. Ah, here we go. Tac jet intercepting. Brilliant. And that's going to really, really hinder the effectiveness of their attacks onto my units. That tac jet can air intercept as well. And we have a covert operation detected. We need to sort out our covert ops very, very soon, because otherwise that could turn very, very bad. Right, so maybe we need to add to the queue the spy agency after our gunner is complete, because then we'll get an agent that can counter the intrigue being put in Citadella. I almost completely forgot about that. I'm glad it reminded me. Alien biology will be finished soon, and we can start utilizing more of these resources, because my workers will stop just working on the same tiles over and over again. I think we can accept this now. I really wanted to get more out of the war. Maybe I can ask for like 2 energy per turn.
No
No.
offense, but no.
Okay, one it is then. That will have to do for now. So do we want +1 science from Pharma Labs or +1 health? I think we want the extra health. So yeah, as soon as this alien biology is finished, all my workers, because they're automated, will start working on the tiles with miasma on them. Gonna keep that marine fortified where it is. And this new trade convoy can trade with Citadella. It's only gonna boost this production by loads. Wow, okay. And then replacing that, we can start to work on a thorium reactor, I think. Or maybe even a cytonursery. Let's go thorium reactor and then cytonursery. Okay. So we're basically doing a balancing act with the health at the moment, because every time our population goes up, we actually increase our health, or decrease our health. But we are going to be alright once we build all of the health buildings in all of our settlements. It kind of balances itself out and even goes positive later in the game. Now we can see the thorium reactor can be built at Santo Adrio, so I'm going to build that there because we need to get our energy back to normal, because currently it's at +1 and that's kind of bad, kind of really bad, especially after this gunner and marine have just been built. But unfortunately it has been my time, so hopefully you've enjoyed the progress that we have made in this particular episode. Managed to peace out with the Americans finally, after trying to get more from them, but you know, we just couldn't, so there we go. But anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.